Hello and welcome back to Zero Escape Virtue's Last Word, where last episode we continued our route to get the Tenmyouji good ending, and we uncovered one hell of a mystery. Well, first off, last episode was insane. Alice died, could be a suicide, could be a murder. Clover wants to kill us all. Again, Tenmyouji, the big reveal is Quark woke up, and the big reveal is that Tenmyouji is actually Junpei. Well, okay, either Tenmyouji is actually Junpei, and he's been searching far and wide for Akane for decades, only to finally find her, and then to find out she's dead. Or he's a creepy old man. Those are the only two options we have here. But it's just, I highly recommend you go watch the last episode if you haven't already. It was such an insane string of reveals, just one after another. It was, wow, okay. Anyway, now we're gonna keep going with the rest of the, we're gonna get the Tenmyouji good ending today, so let's just keep pressing on and see what's in store for us.
Damn it!
What's wrong?
I left something in the director's office.
What was it?
The picture. Ugh, how could I forget it?
Oh yeah, we must have set it down after using the face recognition thing.
Yeah, I'm going back. You two go on ahead to the warehouse.
I want to come with you.
Me too.
Nah, that's fine. Why don't you head back to the warehouse, Sigma? The others are probably already waiting. Right.
Bye, Mr. Sigma.
I knew this guy. I knew he had an important role to play, but I had no goddamn idea that it was gonna be Junpei in the future. Like, what? I watched him jog out toward the blue door. My mind is just, I can't even. And then they were gone. Guess I should be getting back then. This is insanity. I cannot wrap my head around everything we just learned in the past, like, hour. I guess, I mean, yesterday for you guys, but for me, I'm recording this after the last episode, so within the past hour, there's a lot of bombshells that have been dropped. Man, this freaking game. Oh, great. Now we get to play the game of watching the little dot go throughout the whole map. It's my favorite game. Warehouse A. Hey guys, Tenmyouji's actually Junpei. Or sorry, I mean, because that's the other thing too, is that I didn't mention, is that Clover said that Tenmyouji told her something. And that would be, the thing that he told her is probably, hey, I'm you, or I'm Junpei from the future. Would she have believed it instantly? I don't know, but whatever. I stepped into the warehouse to find that all the other teams are already there. Kay and Luna, Fi and Clover, and Dio. The moment Dio spotted me, he dashed over to the Redmond Stadium room and slid his card through the reader. Because he's just always the one that wants to go in first. Yeah, the gate's been opened. As he turned to look at me, I swore I saw a flash of a smug grin.
There. Happy? This time I waited for you to get back before I opened it.
Oh my god.
You see? I can be considerate.
No, you can't! But Tenmyouji and Quark aren't here.
Yeah, where are they?
I guess they forgot something back in the room we found. They ran back to grab it real
I'll
quick.
be here in a few minutes. No big deal.
While we waited, we exchanged information about the rooms we investigated. I got some information for you, but you're not gonna believe it. Unfortunately, none of it seemed very useful. Oh, I got some useful information. None of us found anything. Yes, we did. No. I think you misunderstand the importance of what we just uncovered. With that discussion exhausted, we sat down to wait. Before long, 20 minutes had passed since Dio opened the door and Tenmyouji and Quark were nowhere in sight.
Don't you think they're taking a little long?
Yes, I'm getting worried. What if something happened to them?
I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
No, I'll be fine myself. It's not that far away.
Just don't look into the abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
Well, you're certainly chipper again after just discovering that your best friend Alice is dead. Okay. Look, I'm just gonna go to the director's office. I'll be right back. No big deal. Right, see you guys later. I gave a quick goodbye wave and stepped out of the warehouse. I can't even. I'm still reeling from that reveal. I don't think you guys understand. Because the biggest thing I had to say about the end, well, okay, no, the biggest thing I had to say is the fact that the ending of the first game doesn't make any goddamn sense. But, character-wise, it made no sense to me how they just completely abandoned, like, they didn't resolve Junpei and Akane's character relationship arc at all. So it makes sense that they'd be in this game, but I had no reason to suspect that they would be here. At all. And it still technically hasn't even been confirmed, but the alternative to my theory is that Tenmyouji is just some creepy old man chasing after Akane. I would like to believe my theory as opposed to that, so they are nowhere to be found apparently. which is concerning, huh? That's odd. There's nobody here. The picture's gone, though. Tenmyouji and Quark must have been here. I mean, we were right outside the room, so obviously. Oh, wait, wait, what did that say? I missed it. Huh. I laid out the floor beam map. They must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went to the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, it's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kind of the long way around. Huh, looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Well, this was a huge waste of time. Shoot, might as well head back, I suppose. I packed up the map when he was, and was headed toward the door when... Huh? There was a light on where there was a light on where there hadn't been a light before. Huh. Why is that thing on? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work. I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable, nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously toward it. Yeah, because walking toward an ominous light is always a great idea. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out and toward it slowly, slowly, and then... Oh my Jesus fucking Christ, what the hell?
You finally made it.
That actually fucking scared me. What the hell? No, you're...
I am Zero.
Oh?
I was the one who brought you here. You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky. As you can see, however, this is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
I considered taking a swing in it, but decided that was particularly futile. It's a hologram, you idiot.
Now, where to begin? There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited. As such, the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen two things of great importance to tell you. First, I will tell you about termites.
Ah, yes, because I need to be told about what termites are.
In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say. I imagine you look rather bewildered right now.
Yes, I do.
Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insect. I suspect it hardly seems fair.
There's a chase, pal. Cut to it.
Nonetheless, this is very important. In a way, it will determine your fate. So I ask that you listen carefully. Have you ever seen a termite mound?
I have not.
They are splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art.
I don't know that anybody would ever say that, except you, but okay.
Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space. So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where? No. Of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds. Now, consider humans. Why are we alive?
Oh, really? That's the question you want to tackle right now? You want to tackle the question of why are we alive? Really? I don't think we have the time to tackle that question, buddy.
Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring?
These are some heavy questions you're asking here, pal.
There are many theories, but no one knows the truth.
Well, the first two of why do we love, well, hold on, let me pull it up. Why do we love, why do we give birth? These are self-explanatory. Why do we create? We create things because we want, it's like, why do I create videos? Because I love to make, I've always been passionate about games, and I wanted to share that passion with the world. So I had something I was passionate about that I wanted to share, and I wanted to make it. Why do we love? Because there's other people in our lives that we care about, and that's just human nature. And why do we give birth? Because reproduction, keeping the species going, or wanting to be a parent, wanting to be a parent to your own kid, and like helping them grow and learn about the world, and just watching them grow up into a person and into an adult, and watching them develop as a human being. Why do, and then we have, why are we alive? And from where do our cultures spring? This question can be answered by history. This question, buddy, let's tackle some easier questions for the day, shall we?
We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA. No doubt you see now what this analogy is supposed to illustrate. Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites. We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence.
We look like complete idiots.
We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it. Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty.
Uh-huh.
And you are about to catch a glimpse of it, or have you already? Well, that's enough on that subject, I think. Consider what I've said. Now, let's move on to the second topic. It is somewhat more immediately meaningful to your life, and, in fact, the lives of several billion other people. I realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you. It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered...
To disarm the bomb? What? Bomb?
Are you ready?
Wait, bomb?
Only say this once, so pay close attention.
Wait, you gotta back up, but okay, I was unironically about to go on a tangent about how, about the meaning of life, which fundamentally would have boiled down to, we just want to live the happiest lives we can for ourselves and for the people around us, for the short amount of time that we're on this planet. You know, creating a happy life for yourself, creating a happy life for your friends, for your family, for your loved ones, for your significant others, for your kids. Whoever it is in your life that's important to you, creating happy memories for yourself and for others. That's ultimately, as far as we're concerned, that's as far as I'm concerned, that's what's making the most out of life. And then this guy's like, oh, by the way, there's a bomb you gotta disarm, just so you know.
The password to disarm the number one bomb is BQZ RGJ DXR.
My memory is extremely good, but when it comes to specific sequences like that, I'm not gonna take any chances. Especially when it comes to a bomb we have to disarm. And to be clear, I'm not gonna rely on this. I'm going to try to solve it from memory. But before I hit submit, I am gonna refer to this to make sure I get it right, because I'm not taking any chances. There's bombs to disarm now. I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Was he saying there were bombs too? If he guessed at my future confusion, he showed no sign of it. He's a hologram.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey. Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here. If you do, you will be penalized immediately. I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
Wait, goddammit, you can't just spout all that crap and disappear. I found myself yelling at empty air. Good God, the hologram had disappeared. What kind of an idiot does he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? How could that have anything to do with kidnapping us? I kicked it out on a nearby shelf.
10 minutes. All.
Yeah, go to the ambidex game. Okay, this game, man, I mean, this is something. Freaking existential questions about the purpose of being alive. Followed by, oh, by the way, there's a bomb that's gonna blow you all up in about 5 minutes. I spun around and ran out of the room toward the warehouse. So, over the course of the past hour, we found that Alice either was murdered or killed herself. Junpei is Tenmyouji. Akane was the woman in the elevator. And then we started talking about existential questions of the purpose of life. And then we found out there's a bomb in this place somewhere. This game, man.
Look, Mr. Sigma's back.
Took you long enough.
Pant. Where are the others?
In the AB rooms.
They went in already?
Yep.
Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Yeah. Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Oh?
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round.
Then we will choose ally as well.
That's it.
And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number? Well, we need you to choose ally. If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You get to 9 whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
True, but you must have considered that I'll choose betray. That would mean you choose betray to protect
But
yourselves.
that's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust you?
Of course.
Alright, tell me one thing. Let's say we do this in both ally. Everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave, which is great for you, but I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave us in the lurch?
I can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word. I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
Well, you say that, but every other goddamn bad ending has been a matter of somebody opening the 9 door and then running
I
away.
swear too. I promise.
Man, so all you got is a promise,
I
huh?
make a promise. I keep it. Trust me.
Please, you've got to trust us.
The fact that, like, the knowledge that I'm talking to Junpei right now is just, like, wow. Alright, fine, I'll trust you. This game. This freaking game.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You got it. You promised.
With that, they turned and ran into the AB room second from the right. Well, guess I should get moving. Well, I guess it's been confirmed that Zero isn't actually one of us, which, honestly, I don't know whether to be surprised by that or not. Because on the one hand, it's like, they didn't have a reason to do the same Akane thing they did last time, where one of these people has the time travel thing, or time paradox, On the other hand, it's like, you know, having you just be some random schmuck makes it less interesting, so I don't know. But let's start the game. I can't imagine there's gonna be any interesting dialogue here because it's just us instead of being here with a partner, so I had a decision to make. Instead of trust Quark and Tenmyouji, well, I could believe they were telling me the truth and still betray them. That'd bring my BP to 6. I'd be that much closer to 9, and choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try to escape with the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet, but...
Please.
Yeah. I know what they said. Tenmyouji and I could betray easily enough, but Quark? What the hell was I gonna do?
10 seconds. 9, 8.
Why do you always cut it down to the absolute last possible second?
5, 4.
Like, could you cut it any closer?
1.
Like, literally, you could have picked it any time, but we're gonna choose ally, of course. No reason to pick betray. So I have been,
Round 3 of the Ambidex game has been completed.
I have been keeping an eye on the flowchart to see which choice we have to make. So like this is gonna lead us straight into the Tenmyouji ending. Picking betray would lead us into the bad ending because this is an actual official ending instead of the junk that we got in here and in here. We're gonna pick the good ending first, and then we'll go back and get the bad ending. So we'll see how this shakes out.
Result.
Yeah, results. Alright. I mean, they could betray us, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Result, please.
Results. Okay. Oh. Pieces of shit! Liar! You dirty little liar! What? What?
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
What? What is this? What is this garbage? Hey! What the hell, guys? Why'd you betray
Had
me?
nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise,
I
Junpei?
only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
What? So you're not going to
No,
leave?
I said, of course we're going to leave.
What?
Look, see Clover over there?
What? Don't tell me. What? Did I mess up? Is it, wait a minute. Oh, is this the bad end? Did I mess up? Did I do it in the wrong order? Hold on. What? You have got to be kidding me.
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyouji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth. Tenmyouji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Clover, are you really going to leave? Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others so we can capture Zero Senior.
Tenmyouji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So Sigma, happy? I kept my promise. Clover opened the door, not me.
Like hell I'm happy. That was some shady shit, Junpei.
Say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that. He's got to pay for what he's done.
He?
Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah, no point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
Thanks for the information drop, pal.
The number 9 door.
Yeah, I get it. It's been opened.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait! This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Quark held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game.
I would sing the We Just Got a Letter song from Blues Clues, but I'm too pissed off to do that.
I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
He pressed it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
What? Then he turned and ran toward the door, Tenmyouji and Clover following his footsteps. I was so surprised by the letter I didn't even try to stop them. Before I could think of anything to say,
See you.
Goodbye.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the Nonary Game. Thank you for your part.
Yeah, we've heard this a million times already.
Shit! They're gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
Indeed.
I agree.
I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt, but somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. So that was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. But Quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry, though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bit of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either. Yeah, this is why they have child-proof safety railings for staircases. When I was 3, I got really sick, but I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, but I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out all the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually, though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks when they showed movies. But yeah, I didn't know that I'd be adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he'd brag to everybody about how he had a mom. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." Jesus Christ, this kid's an asshole. It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. Yeah, sure, take a small child to a bar. Great idea. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and set me down on a stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid. My legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point, and then looked back to Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration, I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know it's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he just found me and adopted me or not. He bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother but never had tasted root beer. Okay, I don't know that I'd go that far, buddy. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were... okay. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good, until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I'd torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up. So I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then I'd started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It had started raining pretty hard, though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth is that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop, though, so I just sat there staring out at the gloomy gray sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled, and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He'd spent all night out in the rain looking for me. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he collapsed. I was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever God might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. He got a real bad fever and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa because a week later his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize that he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man. That meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone, but that maybe he'd been a little too strict. All the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby, but but he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, Akane, and because of that he'd have to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me and started raising me, he felt like he had gotten some of what he lost back. That's just depressing. Like he spends his entire existence scouring the globe in search of where Akane ran off to. And then he finally finds her and she's dead. Like, Jesus Christ. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't. Is that the whole ending? Are credits gonna start rolling in a second? Yes, no, maybe so. Wow. Huh. Well, that was something. That was something, alright. So, I feel like they probably should have saved the reveal that Junpei was Tenmyouji. And again, they haven't explicitly said that, but the only other conclusion you can draw from what we learned in this ending is that he's some creepy old man, and I strongly doubt that that's what the case is. Just because of all the other context clues. So, that probably should have been the thing that they saved for the actual ending, because for as heart-wrenching of a story as that was between Cork and Tenmyouji, or Junpei, my emotional reaction to finding out that Tenmyouji was actually Junpei far exceeded my emotional reaction to the story between Cork and I see we once again have not figured out what to do with our music. You had a good thing going for a while there, game. Had a nice somber piece, really fit the tone of what happened, and then we're back to that this heavy metal death music pumping through the headphones. So that ending was definitely better than the Clover ending, but not by a whole lot, because fundamentally it's still someone opens the number 9 door and then they run away. The only difference is that now it actually had the story of Cork and Tenmyouji, which is definitely more interesting, but still, I mean, there is so much to uncover. Like, technically we didn't learn anything new in that ending because we already knew that Cork was, I mean, I guess we learned that he was adopted and not his actual grandson, but either way, the sentiment is still the same, that they may as well be family at this point. Tenmyouji ending, okay. In root beer veritas, or veritas, or whatever. Wow. Yeah, let's save. Okay. Yay, we did it. We got another ending, ladies and gentlemen. We got another. I guess now I'll warp back to this point, and we'll go get the bad ending real quick. Well, looks like you won't be going anywhere this time, Junpei. Yep, it's just another run for the exit ending. Only this time we won't get the emotional story between Cork and Tenmyouji. So the only other question I have left is, why is he calling himself Tenmyouji?
The number 9 door.
Fuck, she opened it.
Like, why doesn't he want to be referred to as Junpei? That's the only hole in my theory so far. And I can't quite explain that, but...
Ugh! Why? Clover, wait!
Clover, what the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm going to call the others. I'll get justice for Alice.
Justice, wait, what do you mean? Another day, another Someone opens the number 9 door ending.
Yeah,
it opens.
Time for me to go. No! Please, Clover, wait!
Like hell, I'm just gonna let you walk out of here.
Dio looked at Clover, his fist raised. Clover easily avoided him and moved toward the door.
Goodbye.
It caught one last glimpse of her face as she slid through the door. It was a mask of ice. Like, I gotta say, no matter how interesting the routes are leading up to the actual endings, it really starts to... They all start to blend together when every single one is just a different variation of someone opens the number 9 door and then escapes. And then this final speech is getting really, really tiresome, I must admit. Yeah, that's just, it's just crap. Just, all the bad endings are just garbage. Okay, well, that's it for this episode. Well, I mean, like I said, better than the Clover ending, but I still stand by the fact that the reveal that Junpei was Tenmyouji, Junpei and Tenmyouji, the same person from here, was far more impactful than the ending, like the final story here. I mean, it was certainly heart-wrenching and all that, but like, comparing that to this is something else entirely. Well, that was... Also, where there was no... We never got to use the bomb passcode. So, I just have a lot of questions. I'm sure it'll pop up again at some point, though. Alright, so next up, we are going after the K ending, which means we are going to leave the yellow door behind for now, because we can't get this yet. And we are going to set off down the magenta door over here, and we'll start getting some of the endings over here. So, should be pretty interesting. Alright, that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all. Tomorrow for some more Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. Goodbye.